Hello. Thanks for joining me today, sharing with personalized traditions. I found some of these little white, well, they were clear hearts, wooden hearts, with a little heart cut out for a tag. It looks like I had started painting some of them. But what I'm going to do is, I bought these really pretty napkins that I can't wait to use. Some of them are really old. They're mostly all butterflies. Oh, look at that one. See, I'm going to use these really cool ones and these big hearts that I found. Okay, let's get started here. I am going to use Sargent Art Liquid Gesso. Just a regular paintbrush. Of course, I'm going to put it on a paper plate. Okay, so I'm going to put these little ones aside. I have a messy desk. I think I'm just going to do one on camera. I'm sorry if it's so blurry. Or not, I'm sorry, not blurry, but the lighting is bad. But again, I have a tripod coming, and it should be here today. That way you can see and look over as I am. But what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to move these out of the way. These ones do not have the hole, and they're plain. You don't need to sand them. Don't need to do anything. So what I want to do is take this napkin. I'm going to do both sides. So what you want to do is separate the layers. I'm trying to see how many layers this one has. This one just has 2 layers. Be very careful so that you don't tear it. So what I want to do is, I want to find the best part. I'd like to get that entire shoe on there on one of those big hearts. But what I'll have to do, just gonna have to fill the rest of it in. Well, no, I can't really do that either. I think I like that. So what I'm gonna do is cut out this square. And I apologize, my scissors are needing to be sharpened. You know what? Because I don't want to ruin this one. I want the whole design to show. So I'm going to use this instead. Isn't this prettier? And this feels like it's got more than 2 layers. So let's see. Nope, this is just 2 layers as well. So I think this is going to be nicer. Because you can do this. You can get all of that on the heart. You can get all of that on the heart. And that is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do this. I have a little bit more of see how we can do this before my tripod gets here. Oh, pick up some. That'll work. All right, let me cut this out. I'm just cutting that around a perfect square. Put this aside. All right, so let's see what I can get here. It doesn't have to be exact, but as long as there is enough to cover. So I don't want that to move. So what I'm going to do is fold this back, and I am going to take some of my liquid gesso. I'm going to paint it on here. Oh, I need to get something underneath for my pad here. Well, right now I'm just putting a hefty amount of the liquid gesso on here, and I'm holding it down at the bottom because I want it to be placed exactly where I had it. So the more I hold on to it, the better. So make sure you have some good coverage here and so that it'll stick. So now what I want to do is let go of that, but make sure you come over and grab underneath. And then just to spread it out. Make sure there are no wrinkles. Be very careful. Be very careful. Uh-oh. The gesso does not want to work. All right. Let's hold off on the gesso. I am going to look. You know what? No, I don't want to do that. I'm going to use some tacky glue. Use some tacky glue. So, it's not, sorry guys. So sorry guys. So the gesso's not really gonna work, which is fine. So I'm gonna try tacky glue. Start with this tacky glue. I always leave it laying down to the side so it isn't so hard to keep pouring out. You want to make sure this is going to be nice and smooth before you put on your napkin. I'm surprised I'm able to do a video because I had surgery last month on my ligaments. I tore 2 ligaments right here. So my 6 weeks isn't even up yet, so I'm not supposed to be doing this stuff. Shh. I won't tell anybody if you don't. Make sure I got a nice good amount on here of the tacky glue. And let's hope I don't I have to do this again, but that's okay. Let's see, I'm not gonna like this. Sorry, I will talk to myself a lot. If it gets wrinkled, you know what? That's okay. That'll just make it look more distressed looking. So now what I want to do is let it dry. Let it dry. You can add whatever you want if you can. So I want to see something. I like this word right here. So I'm just gonna cut this out. This little, sorry for the lighting, guys. Alright, so I just want to put that little guy right here. I think I'm going to use the decoupage as opposed to this glue. I'll go over that. I'll go over it with some decoupage. Because I'm not happy with this glue either. Alright, get that tacky glue off. Ignore those two little piles. And let me just Mod Podge over. Which, I'm going to pour some out because I don't want to be reaching down in there. The Mod Podge is going to hold everything in place, and it's going to protect the surface. And you can worry about trying to get it completely straight, but you're not going to. Without wrinkles, you're going to have it. But you know what? That's okay, because it looks really good right now. And all I'm doing is just applying a thin coat of Mod Podge. Over the entire area. Make sure that you have everything covered. And I am okay with those wrinkles. Now this is going to dry clear. I want to do it around the edges, which I'm going to do on the other side. Don't hurt to be shy, but I'm using a generous amount. Okay. So, I have a heat gun somewhere, but I don't feel like dealing with it. So, and I never measure anything, by the way. I never measure anything. I just do what I do. But I'm going to wait for this to dry. And in the meantime, I'm going to get another one. Oh, I like these big guys. So I'm going to use the really pretty stuff on these. So right now I'm just taking the stickers off. While I'm digging, I can use my little Cricut spatula. Let me get some more Mod Podge here. I'll use the other butterfly one over there. Yeah, Mod Podge is so much nicer. I don't know why I didn't start with it to begin with. But you live and you learn. And I'm new at the video tutorial thing, so be nice to me. I'm just making sure I cover this completely. And I'm going to take that other square And if you happen to tear the material, that is why I put that writing over there, because I tore the material. Okay, little pieces of wood there. All right. So now what I want to try to do is get well, let's do this. Let's just do this instead. Just put it wherever we want, and see, with the Mod Podge, you don't get that many wrinkles at all. But just be very, very gentle. Make sure that you get all the edges. But I will show you the difference between what the tacky glue did on this one and the Mod Podge on this one. But they both look good. Alright, so this one is going to be dry much quicker. The one I did with the Mod Podge. And I can actually turn it over and cut it out. I can cut it out, but I can do that. But I am going to use my X-Acto knife. Yes, my X-Acto knife. So I'm going to try and attempt to do this. But I don't want to, let's see. Well, I better cut it. So I am just going over and trimming off the hangover. And for some reason, I'm just having a little bit of difficulty. All right. Let's do it this way. There, and then I'll fix that. All right, and don't throw away the little pieces, because you can use them here and there. I save everything. I really do. I save everything. All right, so still cutting because I'm a little crippled and I'm trying to use my fingers, but it just continues to hurt the more I use it. But I haven't designed anything in a while. All right, so I got that cut out, and the edges will be a little messy. So put these aside, don't throw them away. Just the tiny, tiny, tiny pieces. So So now what I'm going to do is go around the sides and the edges to make sure that that's going to stay down. Don't want any edges sticking up. So if there is some in the way, that is quite all right, because you can just go along and push down with your finger to get rid of some of those scrappy ends, but make sure you cover it very well. Okay, move on to the top, do the same thing. Finger, finger, you have to not give up on me. Got a little bit much, but that's all right because it's going to dry clear. You're not going to see it. Just make sure you get the edges. I can't stress that enough. And take your time. There's no need to rush. Again, smooth it over on the edges. Just make sure everything is covered, but again, be very careful because this is a napkin that you're working with, and I would do the sides first, so that way you can hold it and then you're not getting it everywhere. But don't rub too much or you're going to start tearing things apart. But just be very cautious. Now I want to put a layer over the outside of that to protect it. And these don't have the pre-drilled holes, but you can make them. You can drill them out yourself, whatever size. I'm not going to put any holes because I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this yet. I'm not sure. I have to be careful because things are starting to fray here a little bit because this is very delicate. But once it dries, it will be protected. Just be very, very careful. You can distress the edges if you want. But I am going to do both sides. Decoupage with Mod Podge is very easy. It's very easy. I see a few. You can tell if you missed any spots. Just paint very, very delicately. You can decorate these. Do whatever you want. Okay, so I'm going to let this one dry. Again, I'm going to push down the sides to make sure nothing's going to tear. And you have one side done. this one. Back side is done. I'm going to leave that dry. Actually, let me put just a little bit more Mod Podge here, just to be extra thick instead of sparingly. It's not going to hurt. All right, so I'm going to put this one aside. This one is probably not really dry yet, but I'm going to cut it out, so it should be okay. Again, save those little tiny pieces. You never know if you're going to need them. Sorry, sometimes I don't talk during my videos. I think better during silence. Sometimes I don't even play. Most of the times I don't play any music. I don't know why. My husband travels a lot, so I'm usually home alone. So that's why I'm starting my videos, because I have more free time. Other than being with my granddaughter, you know. It's pretty awesome. She's beauty. All right, so I'm going to cut this little piece off here. So I'm working on two here. And then I'm going to have to get these edges. But you know what, this one, well, I can still get the edges. I just can't touch the inside of it because it's not done drying because of the tacky glue that I used. So I'm just going to go around these, smooth down the edges. I gotta get better lighting up in here. All right, so I'm going to go down to this side. Do the same thing. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just make sure your edges are all covered. And down on the ends. And I'm liking that so far. I'm liking it so far. So now I'm just going to be very, very careful and add a layer. So it can be protected. So once again, I'm being very careful. And you don't want to like put your fingers on the edge like I just did, because if it's wet and you move your finger, it's stuck. It'll pull off everything you just worked on. I just heard my ring doorbell, so I hope that is my tripod. Yes, I hope. All right, see, this one is done as well. So now we have two that we need to let dry. And I'm also going to do the back. And I will be back with the second round.